Hi again. So today we are speaking to the amazing Shannon Bush. And Shannon is a business innovator from Creative Possibility. Now, Shannon and I had an awesome, amazing talk towards the end of last year, and Shannon actually helped me get really, really clear on a lot of things with my business and especially the direction of my business. So I really was excited to have Shannon here today to have a chat to us about your business and ways that you may be able to get out there and get your marketing in place, get creative and just get everything working so that you can start attracting your ideal client and lots of stuff. So thank you so much for joining us, Shannon.
Thanks, Teresa. It's so good to be here. And I love that you mentioned that when we caught up last year, that power of that, having that one conversation and what that's, the beautiful path it's taken you on, because you've got so much more clarity now, which is exactly what I love to help people with, which is exciting to be here. So thank you.
Yeah, excellent. So basically, as we've chatted about before, a lot of the girls that I work with are in that startup phase of their business, and I know that you work with a lot of people in that phase of their business as well. So one of the questions I wanted to start off with was when starting out, what is the best strategy for client attraction?
It's such a great question, and it's one that I know so many people struggle with. And I think when I considered what to share with you that may have hopefully the best impact for people to really get an understanding of it and be able to move forward, I guess the thing I wanted to say as well is that this is something that people struggle with it often at every stage in their business. And that's not to make people feel disheartened. It's just a reality. But hopefully what I'm going to share with you now is going to help with that. And I think, when I think about client attraction, and the basics are the same really at startup as they are at any stage in your business. So getting this right now is going to help you so much as you go along and grow your business and continue to be in it, hopefully for many, many years if that's what you'd like. But many people struggle with or really get overwhelmed by that whole client attraction part of being in business. And I'm not necessarily suggesting that it's super simple and easy to do, but I just want to say that a lot of people make it a lot harder and a lot more difficult than it actually needs to be.
Yes.
The thing, it's we get stuck in the, oh my God, this is so hard, and everyone's told me it's hard, and I'm finding it difficult. So that then dictates and overwhelms our mindset, and we find it hard then to find the easier paths to move forward with. And Teresa, I talk a lot about effortless success, and I'm not suggesting that that's about there being no effort to create success. It's just that things can be a lot easier, and I like people to believe that things can be easier. Anyway, I don't want to get off track. So the key, I think, is really identifying the benefits that you have to offer. And when I say benefits of something, it's really the promise that things can be different and better. Yeah. So I think one of the easiest things is to give you an example so that you can understand that. And often in my coaching work and teaching work, it's about giving examples because it's a teaching aspect so people can really understand. So if I say, for example, that as a business coach, so business innovator, but we use coach often because it's a term more people understand. Yeah. As a business coach, I can say I provide my private clients access to my 12-month marketing training program. And that's really a feature of working with me. It's an aspect in it, it's a defined fact about what it's like to work with me. But what we want to do is to turn that into a benefit statement. So we take that initial statement, so the feature statement, and then we add the juicy benefit, so something that's enticing and engaging. And that's the bit that provides engagement. So this is really the helpful part here. So we go from my private clients get access to my 12-month marketing training program so that they can be confident they have all the tools and strategies to hand to understand how to market themselves and attract ideal clients and get results.
Excellent.
See the difference in those two statements? It really takes it to, you want to give people the reason why that thing that you do with them or that they can purchase from you or engage with you, why is that important? And that's the benefit. So if you're unsure of what your benefits are, it's really is important to take time out to work them out and to think, start by writing a list of all the features, so all the things you know about, the factual things about the work you do or the services you provide or the products that you sell, and then go, okay, what is the benefit? What is the value in this for somebody? So what is that promise that things can be different and better? And as you grow your business and you start to get testimonials, I really encourage people to look at those and look at the language, even if it's a video testimonial, listen and hear what people are saying, because the language that people are using, they're describing the benefit they got from working with you or purchasing something from you.
That's really important. Yeah, I think you actually showed me that, and since then I'm very much more alert now of the wording that people use, because that's really the wording when you're doing your own marketing that that's what your clients are telling you and saying to you. So yeah, that's an amazing tip. Thank you.
That's it. Use their language, and that's where it can be easier because it's sitting right in front of us. I mean, the difficult thing is if you're not collecting testimonials, start doing it from day one, as soon as you possibly can. Get feedback from your clients and then look at the language that they use, because they're giving you examples of all the great ways that you can connect with them.
Yeah, excellent. Actually, that's sort of one of the things I've noticed a lot lately too is when people put Facebook testimonials up, like within groups and things like that. I've noticed a lot of people will now take photos of those and use them on their website and different places as well. So I think that's an amazing idea as well.
Definitely. I take a screenshot, usually on my phone, if because that's easier often. But yeah, you could do it on your computer, your laptop, whatever device you've got, of any time that I'm tagged in that's a testimonial bit of feedback, and I've got them all in a folder, so I can not only use them on my website or in my marketing, but I can see the language again. How have people described the benefit?
Yeah. I love that. So excellent. So one of the things, especially, so as you know, for me, I came from after corporate, I went into health coaching. And I know when we come out of that course, and it's the same with a lot of courses, I guess, you come out from that specialty course and there's not just you, but there's a lot of other people. And it feels like you're sort of in a crowded market. And it's really hard to know, how to get out there and really path your own way. So you've mentioned, some great tips there on how to use their words. But is there any other tips for sort of creative marketing in what might feel like a bit of a crowded marketplace?
Yeah, and I think, when you are feeling like everything is crowded, it can be very, very challenging to feel like you're ever going to engage with anybody, let alone your ideal client, because you're just like, well, I'm just like everybody else, or, what's different about me? And, you will hear people say things like, there's no new ideas, or nothing's original, or even everyone's seen it all before or done it all before. But I think those are often, blockers that we're putting in the way, and we're already finding it difficult. So that's a real easy justification to stay in that difficult space rather than go, you know what? There are lots of people doing things like me, or I'm doing something like a lot of other people, but they're not you and you're not them. So you will have your own flavor and your own way to do things. And as I said, I think those are more the statements of and more reflective on the uncertainty that often business owners face when it comes to being creative and original with their business growth strategies. So that's just, marketing is a very, very challenging thing for a lot of people. And how do I stand out and be me? But while it might seem really challenging to be creative, I think, again, we've got to go back to the basics and, for example, build relationships with people. And I don't just mean liking and commenting on their posts on Facebook. Go out and actually build a relationship, have a conversation, engage with them, ask them questions and be curious as much as answering things and offering help. It's that continuing to focus on and build that know, like and trust factor, and letting that guide you. So, this really still it has been the foundations for marketing and engagement for a long time, that know, like and trust thing. It is still as important as ever.
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
People know you, and when they like you, as in they like what you have to offer and that the benefits, the promise that things could be different and better, then the trust is built. and they're more likely to engage with you and want to potentially, sign up to your list or go right through to working with you. So you've got to also work out who you are as a business owner. So with that, it's around getting clear on who you are as an individual and what your your version of what it is that you do that a lot of other people do is. That can be the hardest bit sometimes too. But it really, once you can get to that, it is just allowing your personality to shine in your work. So again, often it's not as hard as we think it is. We just are uncertain and maybe uncomfortable, lacking a little bit of confidence in putting ourselves out there. But, that's when you can be creative though and show some innovation and uniqueness, is the delivery of what feels like it's all been done before. It's delivering it your way and not going, oh, well, my ebooks looks like somebody else's. Well, it doesn't, because you created it.
Exactly. And I do feel, because I did used to feel like that at the very, very beginning, and I realised it was because my market was very wide, mothers with children, which is probably half the population or more.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes, when you haven't actually found who your ideal client is or who you want to work with, it does feel like you're in a crowded market because you haven't personalised it for yourself. So that's amazing.
That's right. So it's bringing that down, as you said, to your ideal client. And this is something that I have interesting discussions with people about, because often they're, the type of, I work with men and women, but in the online space, I only work with female clients. And I guess I have different types of conversations with them than I do some of my face-to-face clients. And they're in different industries, different businesses than the men that I work with. But what I often find again and again is that the women I work with are highly capable. They, just like yourself, Teresa, they come from a really diverse background. They've got so many skills, so many things they can do and offer. That's where they get stuck, because they don't know how to get clear on the core of what they do, and therefore their ideal clients, the people they can really help. And then this is something we talked about with you when we caught up last year. Yeah, so it's not about you saying that you can't work with other people, but when you are trying to market to a multitude of people, like half the world, you're not going to get the engagement because you're not being able to personalize it. And really, when you can't personalize it, you can't let you through. You can't let your own self come through and be creative and playful and fun with your marketing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that also brings us to the next question I wanted to ask you is, how important is it to get clear on your message? So I think we all know it's very, very, very important, but I'd love to hear that from you as well.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most important things. It really is. And, rather than talk, though, about, I guess, how to get clear on your message, I just want to share, firstly, to preface this, what happens when you're not clear. Because I find that when I share it this way, people get it a little bit more, rather than, as I said before, getting told that they have to find an ideal client, not knowing how to do that, or feeling like they're limiting or narrowing themselves. But here's a few things just to think about. Confusion breeds confusion. If you're confused and uncertain about who your ideal clients are and unclear about your message, you're going to have a struggle engaging with potential or, ideal clients, prospects, because your confusion will breed more confusion. Okay. So if you're not sure who you are, they're not sure who you are either. And if they're not sure who you are, they are going to struggle to do that know, like, and trust thing. Yeah. Even if it's often, it's as much practical as it is energetic. But again, uncertainty leads to uncertainty in the same way. Overwhelm creates overwhelm. Yeah. So when you are getting yourself out there and you're putting too many mixed messages or unclear messages out there, people aren't sure what it is that you do or that you offer or the benefit. So they're like, well, I might like her, but I'm not really sure, because they're just confused as much as you are. Yeah. It's a bit like an analogy I use is often like going to a doctor. So if we're sick, we want to go and to be supported by or work with that one doctor, the medical professional who is a specialist. Yeah, they even use the term. This is one profession that does this really well. And it tends to be that when we go to a specialist, they have done, years of training. They've really focused. They know what it is they do. And day in, day out, they work with that one particular condition or thing or issue. Yeah. we need to learn from them and get clear on what's our specialty, what's our core, what's our ideal, market, and that helps to create the clarity in your message.
Yeah, perfect. I think, and that's so important because as we've been saying, without being clear and all that stuff, it just really does create more work for yourself. Makes it a lot harder to get success, because it does feel like you're putting a lot of stuff uphill without getting anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. As I say to some of my clients, I tend to often attract people that want to be like the go-to girl or the go-to guy in their industry. They want that clarity, they want that focus, and they want to get those beautiful ideal clients flowing to them, effortlessly and beautifully and ongoing, in increasing amounts, all those sorts of things. But to be that person, you need to be really clear about who you are and what you're doing and what your message is, because you won't get people tag you into posts on Facebook as the person who can do this, this and this if you are not putting it out there consistently what it is that you can do and you can really help people with.
Yeah. That is actually so right as well. You know that I was doing the VA stuff for a while. I don't advertise it anymore, but I constantly still have
need to. Yeah.
I still have people messaging me constantly about it. And it's just that know, like, and trust thing. People that I was working with, heard about it, all that kind of stuff. And it just starts on that sort of ripple effect through the different stuff.
Yeah, completely. Yeah. But what you can, and definitely what I've seen your marketing evolve since we first connected, is you're now able to be clear and consistent with your message and your marketing, because you're also not trying to promote multiple other things that you offer. And that's a great example, because you've not stopped your VA work, but you're focused on a single clear message that's just helping you build the business that you really want to be in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think I really loved that the most out of our session is, I think when I came to you, I was still struggling with wanting to do the mentoring, wanting to be the health coach still, wanting to do the VA stuff. And I was like, I don't even know where to start. And I think sometimes if you're also not surrounding yourself with the people who can point you in the right direction, and at that time I didn't feel like I had the right people to point me in the right direction until I found you, and you seem to be able to make things so much clearer for me. And I still go off the path sometimes. And because
we all do.
Because I will have like lots of people want VA stuff, or I've got a couple of health coaching clients that I still see. So it's still, it can be a little bit tricky, but every time I start
it can, but I think that
I was just going to say, every time I start realigning myself back with that message, everything else seems to just part way and open up for more more things that I want to do, rather than just keep taking on that stuff that sort of doesn't serve me as much anymore.
Yeah, definitely. I see it time and time again. And, as soon as people dilute themselves in their message, it doesn't end up looking pretty. They get overwhelmed and confused. Their clients are the same. They don't attract their ideal clients. The money flow, if there's money flowing in, can stop. So many things can happen.
Yeah. So yes, more reason to get clear as soon as possible so that you can start sort of paving that way. I've got one more question, but I also, after that, I wanted to ask you something as well on planning, because as you know, planning is such an important thing. And I know that you did an amazing webinar about it the end of last year. So because our first module for the girls will be on planning, I really wanted to just touch base with that as well. So you've probably mentioned a bit about the next question, but what would you say would be your top marketing tip for anyone who's sort of starting out?
Yeah, and I think all of the bits I've shared, as you said, Teresa, are all valuable. And, it was hard when I thought about how do I answer this for you. There's so many things I could share, and we've covered parts of it already. But I think, I'm trying to think in terms of what's important right now. And as technology continues to evolve, and we'll find that our ideal clients are bombarded with even more options and opportunities. There really is that you know, you need to be in that space where you are clear about who you are, you understand the benefits of what you have to offer, and you can articulate that, and those sorts of things. But I've got a bit of a formula that underpins a new marketing training program that I'm launching in the next couple of months, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
But this is stuff I've been, I guess, talking about with my clients for ages, and I'm just finally putting it into a format so that I can get out and teach more people. But, you know, it's around one of my core messages, which is around really, I guess it's like the ethos of market to thrive. And I truly believe that when you can get your marketing right and in a way that makes sense for you, that you really can be in a space of thriving in your business. So the formula is something that, yeah, it will lead to something I call abundance marketing. And it's around, you know, there's 4 sort of steps in it. It's building real relationships. It's then applying attraction principles, meaningful education, and service first. So there's 4 little bits of it. So they're building real, they're not necessarily in any particular order either. I really feel that they all come together as a holistic approach to things. But building real relationships is a bit like the know, like, and trust stuff we talked about before. You know, go out there and genuinely connect with people, both online and offline. So, you know, networking and going to groups and training and things are as equally important as your online networking. Attraction principles. So these are the things that you can do where you can really show people that you do understand their challenges, their ideal problem, or their problems, and it's your ideal client type stuff. You've got to really engage with them and show them that you do understand who they are, what their challenges or issues are, and then show them that you can really help them. So attraction principles are very diverse. I can't even, you know, start getting into that. This is going to be like a 9-week training program going into all of those. But, you know, that come at it from there, you think about it, what can I do where I can engage with people? Yeah, it's the opposite of what I call repulsion marketing, which is all the pushy, salesy, spammy type stuff, which just pushes people away. Yeah, and being in that space of understanding who you are and really connecting was going to help with that to make that more effortless. And you've got meaningful education. So this is that, how can I share what it is that I'm actually doing? What can I teach people? How can I show them that what I've got to offer is really of value, and I'm the person that can really help them with whatever it is that they're looking for support with. And then the service first is the 4th part in that little process, or that little what do we call it, like a formula, if you like. So service first is like, how can I be of service? So you're showing up and being of service and not focusing on sales. Yeah, they're very, very different things. And I often find when people struggle with sales or selling, it's because they're looking at it from a selling perspective rather than a service perspective.
Yeah.
And being of service is just get thinking, what can I do to help? What can I do to be of value? But it's also being careful not to be all about giving everything away for free either. Yes, we're talking about wanting a business here, not being a charity. But, you know, how can I really help somebody? What could I do? What little thing could I do that could really make their day? You know, sending a message, sending a card, you know, things like that. It's just some of those really basic, simple, caring about another human being things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I do have to say, after our session, I got a beautiful card in the mail from you. I loved it. You don't usually get cards from people these days because everything is so online, but I still love that personal touch, and I think that was amazing.
No.
So thank you for that.
No, my pleasure. And again, that's just, you're thinking what's natural to me, what's a natural way for me to communicate. And that's something I've done since the first year of my business, and here I am in my 8th year, and I won't change that ever.
Yeah, no, definitely don't. I think it's amazing. It definitely makes you feel very special as well, so I love that. So lastly, as I mentioned before, onto business planning. Now, when I first started out, I really just winged it, and I didn't think I needed a plan, and I didn't have anything in place. And
common strategy.
Yeah, and I totally winged it to the point where my business didn't succeed. So I'm now very reformed, and I do plan, and I'm very structured with it. But I'd love to hear how you make planning sort of a bit more creative and, what works for you and your clients as well.
Yeah. Are you sure you're ready for this? I love talking about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, just tiny little bit of background is that, I too came from a corporate background prior to starting my business. So, I was, the most recent role I had was as a professional project manager. So I was paid to plan to the nth degree. I always tried to do it in a creative way that really helped me to engage, because, doing a project plan in Microsoft Project, really, it was fun and I got it and I can break things down. I can do all that, but it really wasn't that exciting. So, but I did know the importance and the power of planning and that whole mapping things out, step by step, and putting tracking in place and following things through so you can really see your progress and see where you need to tweak stuff and all that. I understood completely how important that was. And I knew that when I started my business, I need to do some business planning. When I'd been at uni doing my graduate degree in business management, I learned how to do a business plan that way. If I as I say it, the way that you do for a bank if you need to go and loan some money or whatever. And it just totally turns me off. I was like, I can't do this. That's not exciting. That's not, and for me it was that's not motivating. It's not inspirational and it doesn't engage me. And if those things are missing, I'm not going to ever follow anything. Yeah. And I think a lot of us are like that. We just aren't necessarily honest about it. We don't necessarily get honest and share that that's the reality. So it must be 4, if not maybe into nearly 5 years ago, I thought I know I needed planning and I know I wanted to create something. And it was like, how can I put what I know about what I need in planning into something? And I love creating systems. I really say it's a real opportunity to create solutions for not just for myself, but then I often end up teaching them to my clients, which is great. And I thought about the core areas that I knew that I wanted to and needed to focus on to help grow my business, but also take care of me. So as a small business owner, we all know that we are so intricately entwined with our business. So if we're not taking care of ourselves, our business will be impacted. And if we're not taking care of our business, we will be impacted. So it had to have a self element to it as well. So what I came up with was 4 core areas, and I realized that it was really about focusing on the growth in those areas. So it's business growth, wealth growth, expertise growth, and self-growth. So I turn these then into what I call the effortless success framework, which is the business planning framework, or business and life planning really, because we've got that self element in there. And the self goals are not allowed to be business goals. So otherwise it defeats the purpose of taking care of yourself in there. You want to factor in things that's going to give you time away from your business, time with your loved ones, time for you. Might be a personal development thing, but not necessarily focused on business. Your business growth goals can be anything that's going to help you to grow your business, from getting more clients to launching a program, all those sorts of things, getting clear on your marketing message. It can be anything. And it doesn't have to be a massive big goal, because this framework can be used for everything from, a time frame from today to a year to 5 years. It's very flexible and variable. The important thing is having the plan. The wealth growth is about your money and other things that make you feel wealthy and rich and abundant. Yeah, so it could be literally your financial goals, and it could be also tied in there a personal financial goal as well as a business goal. So you might have a goal around your turnover for the year, but you also might have a goal around what you're paying yourself in drawings from your business, or what you're saving, or it could even be the wealth growth goal might even be to go on holiday. Could be anything that's going to make you feel wealthy and rich and abundant, as well as the practicalities of money. Expertise growth stuff is around skills, learning, growing, stretching. It could be everything from putting a submission into a business award, to learning a brand new skill, to getting testimonials. That comes up again. But it's around the expertise. How can you showcase what it is that you have to offer? Yeah. So that's it in a nutshell. So it's around just those 4 simple, keeping it simple. And when I teach this, I teach that you just create 3 core goals in each of those areas. So 3 business growth, 3 wealth growth, 3 expertise growth, and 3 self-growth goals. Awesome. Keep it simple. We overcomplicate it far too much.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is the key, is not to overcomplicate it, because that's, the reason why I didn't like doing it was because I came from corporate as well, and I really tried to just totally ditch anything I ever learnt from them, which isn't really a good thing to do. I just didn't want to at the time. That's how I felt. But in fact, a lot of the great things that I learnt in that job I now carry on. But it's about making it fun. It doesn't have to be so corporately uniformed like maybe it used to be. So that's great.
No, that's right. And I was much the same when I left corporate. It was like I almost went on a rebellion to go try and
yes.
the opposite. And yet some of those foundational skills I learned, they're some of the best skills I use every day in my business and my life. It was just finding my way to do it so that it made sense for me, and the fact that I'm now a business owner, not an employee.
Exactly. It is like a rebellious thing. But I think once you start, it's very much like we were saying with your business. You know, you've got to personalize it because you're that amazing person, and your business personalized because you do it. And that's the same with these things that we learned in our, previous jobs. It's once we personalize it to fit our new, amazing career, and add the fun stuff in, then that's when it becomes a lot more us and a lot less corporate. But it's definitely a very important part of it.
Definitely.
So, excellent. Well, thank you so much for that, Shannon. I really appreciate your time today. And now I really want the girls to be able to find you and come and chat to you, if ever they'd love to work with you, which I'm sure they will. Can you please tell us a little bit about, I definitely know you have an amazing Facebook group that I'd love you to tell us about, and also anything else that you'd love, any other ways that we can reach out and possibly work with you in the future. That would be amazing. Thank you.
Yes, for sure. So as you said, Teresa, I do have a Facebook group, which I started probably the early October last year, after wanting to do one for ages. I just thought one day I just got to do it, and I absolutely love it. It's called the Thriving Entrepreneur Circle. It is only for women in business at this point in time. I can't see us changing that. But it really is about that. How can we all together thrive in our businesses and our lives? So it's definitely a place where I am you'll find me in there. I'm not someone who creates a Facebook group and then doesn't show up. I practice what I preach as much as I can. So I'd love to see your girls come and join us in there if they're not in there already. Some of them may be.
I'm sure they are actually, but absolutely. It's a good place to hang out.
Yeah, thank you. And you'll see people like Teresa in there as well, sharing all her gorgeous knowledge. And, I've really tried to have some of the themes, my daily themes, a little bit different to what you see in some of the other groups, just so we can have a different conversation. And so that's definitely one place to come and to connect with me. I'm more than open to people messaging me through Facebook or sending me an email to ask a question or to want to connect. I'm happy to do, a quick call with somebody. And there's, I'll often put an offer in for an introductory coaching session, particularly in my group. So there's different ways that people can connect there. But lots and lots of information on my website. So if you go to creativepossibility.com.au, I blog regularly. I'm putting more videos up around things to do with marketing and business and life and all those 4 areas I shared about. I will have more webinars coming up. And as I said, I'm definitely launching a new marketing training program in April. So Market to Thrive. And then really, I don't have a newsletter as such. I have a magazine that I launched late last year. So Totally Thriving is a digital business magazine for women in business. So it's something that we put out every month. So it's a very exciting thing for me to do with my tiny team. I've got one assistant that works with me, but we love it, and we love showcasing women in business. So get on the list for that. So if you go to creativepossibility.com.au, you'll easily be able to find that. There's a nice big banner right on the top of the homepage that you can click in, and that will take you through to sign up to get on that free list. And that way you'll find out more about what I'm up to and be able to connect.
Yay. And it's an amazing magazine too. I feel very privileged that I got to be in that this month. Yes, so it's nearly the end of the month. I've got to be in there this month, which I'm very happy about. Um, so what I'll do also,
Yes.
Shannon, is I'll put all that info that you gave us, I'll put all the links and stuff on the page where we'll share this amazing video so that people can just click straight through and come and say hi that
Fantastic.
way as well. So thank you so much again. I really
Great. Thank you.
appreciate your time. And yeah, hopefully we'll be seeing you very, very soon.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa. It was really great to catch up. I'm going to tongue tied here and connect and things. And I've loved getting to know you over the last few months, and love seeing what you're doing with your group. And your ladies are very lucky to have you to support them.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much to Shannon, and thank you to everyone for tuning in again today. As I said, the links for Shannon's, all the stuff that she ran through today will be on the page below, so you can feel free to click through. And any questions that you may have, please feel free to bring them on and ask. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.